Okay, so let's get started. Thank you so much for joining our webinar called Office Hours, Let's Talk Taxes. Today we are joined by Ruta and Diana, who are going to be here to ask your burning tax questions. The reason we offer these office hours is to answer both questions related to taxes to be answered by tax experts, as well as any product-related questions you might have. And we offer this because we know that taxes are really confusing. And let's jump into question one right away. Ruta and Diana will be taking turns answering and can contribute here and there where they see fit. So the first one is from Rhonda from Germany. And the question is, I'm required to send e-invoices to clients in Germany as of January 1st, 2025. I need to send individualized invoices quarterly to clients in Germany. These cannot be generated automatically. Will there be a way for me to do this in my Quaderno account by March 15th? So I think, Diana, you
Thank
can take this away.
you. Yes, thank you, Olivia. Let me take this one. So basically, it's important to clarify, and this is great. Well, it's why we do these calls because there is always so much confusing information. What is really required at the moment is that in 2025 and 2026, sellers can issue invoices without the permission of the clients, but not the other way around, right? So your client, your buyer, cannot force you as a seller to issue invoices, right? At the moment, during this period, paper invoices and the traditional electronic formats like the PDFs that Quaderno generates are still permitted and are still valid. And the invoicing rules at the moment affect the B2B transactions. As usual, when we reach the moment where it is an obligation and you really are obliged to send these invoices to your clients, Quaderno will be able to do it and you will be able to do it from your account. So it's great that we clear this because very often it's not easy to know what is the exact obligation at the exact time.
Super. Elodie from our support team has also just provided you with an article in the chat. And feel free to also leave any other questions that you might not see here in the presentation in the chat, and we'll try and either respond to you during the presentation or we can get back to you later on. So let's jump to the next question. I believe the next question wasn't so much a question, but maybe there's a specific clarification. Catherine, if you wanted to clarify, she is here. If not, we also have articles from our end, and maybe you also do from 1stopVAT as well that we can share, just supporting material on tax laws on SaaS.
Okay, and then maybe as well, I can quickly jump in regarding this case. When we talk about SaaS, so the taxability differs maybe more if we talk about the US market, because SaaS is taxed differently than other digital products. But if we look globally to the SaaS product, this product is charged almost in all the regions in the same manner as any electronically supplied service or digital product. So anyways, the seller that do sales of SaaS has to take care of the thresholds globally. So this would be like the main comment, like the general on the SaaS project.
Perfect. Okay, let's go to the next question if there's nothing else to contribute. So this one's in French, and I will not offend any of you French speakers by trying to read this out loud. Elodie is actually French, so she can take care of this question later. Aurélie, if you're here, Elodie can speak with you in the chat here, or we can put you two in touch after the meeting is over. But yeah, we can provide you with a personalized follow-up later on and respond to you in French. This might be a nice time to mention that we soon will launch our website and our app in French. So this will be of great benefit for all of you French native French speakers who prefer to have have the product available in French. So it might be nice time to mention that. So let's go to the next question. So how is the EU going to check up on people in the United States who are selling digital courses and coaching into the EU but not registering for VAT? This is a question from Glenn.
The checkup is already working in the European Union. Actually, each and every payment service provider has periodically to report about physical persons, international payments to any company globally. And then these companies are tracked whether they are following the VAT regulations or not. So actually, not only European Union, but other countries all over the world have the ways how to track whether the sellers are compliant or not. For European Union, this is not a problem to track the companies and to detect if the sellers are not compliant.
Let's move on to the next question. So let's see. So this is a question from Julie. It says, I have clients in Europe, but my revenues there are quite small, below 10K per country and probably below 30K for the whole European region. Am I supposed to charge 25% taxes on all sales? And if so, what is the next step? How do I remit it to the government?
From the question, it's not clear in which country Julie and her business is established and what exact products are sold in European Union. But let's say if we talk in general, so if we are talking about European-based business and if we are talking about electronically supplied service, so it means that the business has that small business threshold, 10,000 euros in calendar year before the registration for OSS or direct registration in each and every country where the final customer is. So if I'm not sure if Julie is based in European Union and if already she has reached 10,000 sales into European Union, so from our recommendation would be to register for OSS as quickly as possible. If not, then to do the registrations in each and every country where the customer is established. So that small amount that we can talk about when there is no liabilities to be registered in the country where the customer is only the 10,000, not the 30,000.
Okay. Thank you, Vika. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this is from Juliana. She wants to know about career coaching services. So our career coaching services, for example, paid one-to-one calls, excluding workshops or downloadable resources subject to VAT, whether the company is registered in the EU or outside of the EU. And what about memberships to community access through a website or through WhatsApp?
Yeah, so if we talk about online consulting, if let's say Juliana is sending a link to connect with the person that she's coaching. So such a service, one-on-one sessions will not be treated as electronically supplied service. This will be treated the same as regular service, as regular consulting service, because the only digital thing is the digital link that the service provider and the customer is connecting with each other. So it means that if we talk about the consultancy between business and physical person, so the taxability will be in the country where the business is established. not where the customer is. If we talk about the memberships like subscriptions to access chats or any, I don't know, community databases, in such cases, these services would be treated as electronically supplied service. So these two types that are mentioned of services in this question are totally different. So one-on-ones will be treated as a regular service and taxed where the seller is established if we talk about B2C, and if we talk about subscription membership with the access, so then it is a digital service and it is taxable where the final customer is.
Okay. The next question is from Camila about the new EU tax on live teaching. Do we need to collect double tax, UK as suppliers and EU for the consumer?
Well, unfortunately,
I
but
think
currently,
it's very popular, right, Ruta, the topic now, live teaching.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's
Go ahead,
kind
go
of
ahead.
fresh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fresh now, and so while
Mm.
UK has not adopted the law to make it the same as in EU, when we talk about live teaching in UK, currently such services are taxable like a regular event. So in that place where the organizer is established. But in EU, the law has changed starting from January 1st. So it means that live events are charged where the customers are established. So in currently, while these two laws are different, so it means that yes, there will be double taxation. It was the same before 2025 when we talked about EU sellers selling live teaching sessions to Norway. It was the same.
Yeah, and I don't know if you wanted to also make an additional comment there.
Yes, I wanted to mention that this is a very popular topic because, as Ruta said, it's very recent, and we are very lucky to have Ruta here to explain so well. From Quaderno side, we have always guides and documentation on our website. So I just wanted you to have a look at the chat where our colleague Elodie is adding also many of these guides for your reference.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. Thank you both. This is from Pallavi. Sorry if I said your name wrong. When does sales tax apply when selling online courses for both self-paced and live?
Let's continue, right, Ruta?
It's a good segue. Yeah.
Online courses, online sessions. Yeah, I guess this is the most popular question, and I guess the topic that is kind of difficult to understand what is the difference because it's quite usual that the business are providing both live and recorded courses or something, and in different regions the taxability differs. So it's not clear about which region we are talking about. I can see like a keyword sales tax. So if we are talking about US, so it means that for the recorded courses in most of the states that are taxing digital products, such courses would be taxable as well. But live sessions, it will be only few states that such courses would be taxable. So it is not very clear from the question about which region we are talking about, and the legislation, unfortunately, but differs in each and every region.
Yes, and I wanted to add that the great thing about this one-stop VAT and Quaderno partnership is that, first of all, you need to understand exactly what applies to you, and then luckily, once you know, Quaderno will remove that complexity, right? Because the moment you configure it and you let Quaderno know where you're based, and then you configure the correct tax class, Quaderno is able to then dynamically calculate the correct sales tax that apply, depending on where you're selling to, depending on where you're based. So it's kind of an exercise you need to do at the beginning, and then it's becoming very easy to automate that. So no need to panic. We got you covered.
Super. Let's go on to the next question. Thank you both. This is an interesting one from Joanne. Does watching a video on live YouTube make someone a customer while receiving $2 as a donation? How to combine it with the EU core, as it is about income threshold after all. I'm not sure if Joanne is here and wants to elaborate more, but
Yep. So, well, the question, looking how what details are provided. So it's not about VAT or sales tax. Actually, the donations are not the subject of VAT in general, at least in European Union. So in such case, actually, this is the question about the income tax of the person that is receiving such a donation. So unfortunately, I'm afraid that I will not be able to advise on proper, compliance when we talk about the direct taxation, so about income tax.
okay, let's move on. Next question. So I'm thinking about opening soon a US LLC and would like to inform myself as much as possible about direct and indirect taxes in the US, from US and through Europe. That's from Carlos.
Well, this is like a very broad and general question about sales tax, etc., etc. So maybe the first thing that you have to understand, if you are not US based and you're establishing only a company in US, so sales tax is totally different from the VAT. If you'll try to compare these two taxes, of course, when we talk about sales taxes, it is very important to properly understand what type of product or services you are providing, to analyze each and every state about the taxability, because there is no unified ruling in the United States that this product is taxable in all the states, like general rule. Each and every state has to be analyzed separately, and a lot of details actually are important when you do the analysis in order to understand if it is like a remote sale or not. Of course, sometimes when we talk about sales tax rates as well, it differs if we talk about the seller that is not established in US, and let's say the stock, if we talk about the physical product, is not held in any of the state. So in such cases, sales tax rate will be applied like one. If we talk about the scenario, if the seller holds stock in one or another state, the sales tax rates will differ. So in these cases, when we talk about different products, different scenarios, I guess Quaderno as well is a good tool to properly calculate and detect the thresholds, and then going further to apply proper VAT or sales tax rates on the transactions. From 1stopVAT side, according to your business model, as well, we can advise in exact situation whether your product or service is taxable or not.
Exactly, Ruta. And I wanted to say that I think this is one of the reasons why we give peace of mind to companies that are thinking about doing something that is so new. You need to cover the whole end-to-end of taxation, of direct and indirect taxes. And in terms of indirect taxes, you need not only to understand the rules, where we can all help you with our guides and personalized advice, But then it's usually easier than you imagine, right? Because as Ruta mentioned, if you don't have warehouses there or employees there, a question that we always get is, do I need to register there as a company? We have all this framework now with this threshold on the different states, where the first thing you need to do at the beginning is to know what applies to you and to be able to monitor your sales, which is something that software like Quaderno will automatically do when you plug it in. And then if you are selling a lot, and that's a good problem to have, and you reach those thresholds, Quaderno will warn you, and it's very easy then to proceed to the registration part and let Quaderno know that that situation has changed, and Quaderno will calculate taxes differently, prepare the tax report, and then one stop VAT can do this filing for you. So we kind of make it easy to sell everywhere without having to worry, okay, how do I comply? In the past, companies were much more limited, very often not opening new markets due to the fact that they didn't know how to handle taxes, right? So it's times have changed.
Perfect. Thank you both. So, yeah, we have a few questions left, and I just wanted to remind you that if you haven't seen your question appear here, or you have another one that's come up while you're listening to the presentation, feel free to go ahead and leave it in the chat, and we can try and respond as soon as possible. So the next question is an equation. E-commerce, point of purchase, and 3 different scenarios. Okay, storefront in X country sells to customer in the same X country. Storefront in X country sells to foreigner in same X country, as well if this consumer ships the goods home to Y country, so an export. And then storefront in X country, foreigner purchases and ships product to home country Y. So this person would like to understand, yeah, I suppose
Okay, so
this is all working in three different scenarios. Yeah, go ahead.
I really hope that in this case it is European Union. If not, so in most of the cases, I guess it will be the same, but might differ. So as it is not mentioned, if it's we are talking about Europe. Okay, so let's stick to that scenario. It's Europe. So if we are taking the first case that the storefront is let's say in Germany, and the customer is in Germany, and the product is delivered to German address. So it means that in such a case, German VAT should be applied on this type of sale. If we take another scenario, if the shop in Germany sells product to foreigner that on its own delivers the products outside Europe. So in such case, it really depends on the situation and on the Incoterms. If it is like a sale for sure in just exactly in the shop, in the storefront, so it means the customer is coming to that place and buying a product. So it means anyways, German VAT, if the shop is in Germany and foreigner is coming to the shop in Germany and buying that product, and only later on moving that good outside Europe. So still German VAT will be applied. Of course, if it is a B2B situation, if it is an extra agreement that the customer will prove that the bought products will be moved outside European Union and provide with all the documents, shipping documents, that product is not left anywhere in European Union. So then it might be a different scenario. It might be that on such sale there will be a different VAT applied, but in most of the cases still that countries where the product was sold, VAT will be applied. So I guess the last scenario is still the same actually, as just the products are moved not outside, let's say, Europe, but in another European country. So still, if not the seller moved the product outside the country where the shop is, so it means that the VAT should be applied that country's VAT where the shop is. So If it is in Germany, so it means German VAT. If it is, let's say, online sale, not the customer is not coming to the shop directly, and the shipping was ordered, and the seller is obliged to ship the product to the customer, let's say in France. So in such situation, it is possible that the sale will be without VAT, it will be reverse charge applied. But these scenarios are as well really broad. It depends if it is truly the situations that the customer is a physical person and coming to the shop store to buy the product, or we are talking about the agreements, B2B agreements. So it might change the situation of the taxability.
I wanted to mention, Ruta, if that's okay, because this is reminding me of some projects and conversations of really interesting Quaderno contacts with marketplaces. It's very important when you send us your questions to mention the countries. Because when it's so theoretical, in X country to the Y country, tax rules are very different, as Ruta mentioned, depending on the territory. So it's great if you can attend the call live, because then you can elaborate. And then if you send us questions for the sessions, is the more specific you are, the better. Correct?
Yeah, truly. Yeah, because there is no general rule for all the countries and all the situations.
Exactly. Cool.
Okay, so we have a few questions left. Someone would like to understand cost of management, exchange of documents, for example, from Stripe and other platforms. I think Diana, maybe you want to answer this question.
Yes, absolutely. So the great thing about Quaderno is that you have the cost of using the tool, which is very reasonable and scaled with size. So we always like to say that Quaderno grows with you, because it's not based on a percentage of your sales or anything like that. It's purely based on the number of transactions you handle per month and the number of countries where you have to register for tax collection, the number of jurisdictions. So usually, if you compare with a Stripe, there is no color, right? This is a much more manageable cost. And then in terms of exchange of documents, I would imagine we are talking about having to correct invoices, etc. This is a great point about Quaderno as well. The price will not change based on the functionality you use. So you will need to pay for the transactions you process, and if you need to register in additional jurisdictions. But then in terms of the functionality, you get all the functionality from the platform, and there is no distinction there. So you will see that this, we always get happy faces when they see how normal our price is, and it's publicly available on our website as well. Or you can always, of course, contact us. Thank you, Elodie, already shared the plan and prices page. We are very transparent, and we pride ourselves on that. But that said, if anybody has any questions, you can either contact support, or you can also reach us, fill in our sales forms. We'll connect you with a product expert. And I take this chance to reply to Rhonda, because she was asking about how to leverage her Quaderno account a bit more. She seems to be a happy customer already. So yeah, feel free to go to the website, fill the, talk with a product expert form, and we will be in touch.
Okay, because my tech gentleman and I should come to that call together, so that's why I wanted to see how we can make sure
Rhonda,
that works.
they let you talk. That's great. I thought
Yes,
you could
yes.
type.
I wasn't sure everybody else was just writing.
Yes.
No. So I need to go to the website and fill in what's it called?
Say contact Quaderno, and
I'll
then
share it with you. I'll share it with you.
contact support. That's the easiest. And then
Okay.
mention you were in the webinar, and
Yeah.
we can have a call to explain how you can fulfill
Wonderful.
the invoices part. No worries.
Wonderful. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
that's
That's
great.
very important. Yeah.
I love it when you can talk and not
Yeah.
only write questions on the chat. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for the link, Olivia. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, there
Perfect.
you have it.
Yeah.
Super.
Okay, let's move because time is flying.
Yes, we have just one question left, so it's kind of probably for both you and Ruta. So if Quaderno doesn't have a tax guide for a specific country like Panama, does that mean it's not able to calculate tax for sales to that country? And then we'll jump to the other half of the question.
Yes, my goodness, the number of times these questions come up. Of course not. Of course not. So Quaderno aims at having tax guides for all countries, and we keep working non-stop to have them. But it doesn't mean that we don't support it. And I always like to say that we are very fast. So even if new rules appear in new countries, tax rates change, we are incredibly fast and updating that and supporting that. So no, the fact that you don't find the tax guide doesn't mean that we don't support you. And we always advise you to contact us and we can easily clarify or explain. As Ruta mentioned already, the tax world is changing really fast. And if you want to stay up to date, we have an amazing newsletter with real good content. Now Olivia can mention the name and where you sign up. And if you subscribe, you are going to be amazed by how many changes countries enact new rules, remove them. And that's the value of Quaderno, right? That we follow all of that for you. We make sure that Quaderno is up to date, reflecting all those rules and does all the calculations for you. So that's why sometimes we struggle to have guides for all places, but we support them even if you don't find the guide. So when in doubt, ask. And I also recommend that you subscribe to the newsletter because it's amazing value. And you even have a section of projects that are using Quaderno and their use case and their success case, and it's really, really great, especially if you're starting a new business. It gives you a lot of confidence.
Super.
And
So
I
I've
will
just shared the
leave
link for
the
the
second, yeah.
newsletter.
Oh yeah, here we have
Yeah.
it, perfect on the comments.
And then the next question, the second half of the question, will go to Ruta. So also we're having difficulty with UK registration, verifying the identity of our business owner. Other than birth certificate, driver's licenses, passport, etc., what would they accept to establish identity?
Well, what is going on currently with UK registration? So yeah, it is actually a problem that all service providers and sellers itself, while going through the registration process, they are struggling a lot. And to prove the identity in most of the cases that we have ever dealt, of course, definitely it is passport that it is needed. Then it is enough if you have, let's say, your company's incorporation document and the director is named on that document. It is all okay, and as well, it will be acceptable any kind of agreement. Let's say you have office rental agreement and the director is mentioned in that and signing the agreement or any lease agreement you have. So the main thing and the main purpose for UK authorities by requesting such documents is to make sure that the person named as a director or I don't know CEO is the one that is working in that company and responsible for the main decisions of the company. So if you do not have birth certificate or driver license, so my suggestion would be to use passport, incorporation document if the name is mentioned, lease agreement, rental agreement, any document related with the company and the name in that document of the director of the company.
Perfect. So that is the last question. Does anyone else have any last minute questions that we didn't get to or that have come up during the talk?
And if you don't have questions, you can also let us know if this was useful, send us some hearts, tell us if you want us to repeat it again. All feedback welcome. Thank you, Rhonda. See your
Thank
comment
you.
there.
So as Diana has mentioned, if you have any other questions that come up later and you just remember it after we finish the presentation, you can always get in touch with us by writing support, as Elodie has left in the chat, as well as filling out a contact specialist form if you'd like to book a call. And yeah, we do this every quarter because we know that taxes are very confusing. And we like to offer in-person support. So yeah, I just wanted to give a special thanks to Liana and Ruta. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you
Thank
to
you, Olivia.
everyone who has joined. any other questions you might have, feel free to send them our way. And keep your eyes open for our next office hours, which will be next quarter.
Mhm. And we will be sending the recording, Olivia, reminds me, or not?
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
You'll
perfect.
have access to the recording in a couple of days. We will send it to you directly via email. And you can also check out any other videos that we have on our YouTube channel as well.
Okay, so
Lovely.
thanks a lot as well from my side for all the participants, for all the questions. And always, if you will have any questions that we can advise you, help you to understand the situation, so feel free to contact us via email, and we will try to help you, or we'll combine our efforts with Quaderno to make you compliant anywhere in the world.
Super. Thank you so much. Well, that will conclude our presentation. And we look forward to hearing from you all, and we'll see you in the next office hours.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.